Financial literacy is a taboo topic in our society and is seldom taught in schools. It's the responsibility of our elders and wise entrepreneurs to impart that knowledge to young people in order to prepare them for life. Fortunately, just as I started focusing on these decisions, I discovered Ramit Sethi's 10 money rules, and I thought it was important to reach out to you. So before we start, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Number 1. Always have 1 year of emergency funds available in case the worst. Sethi explains that he's more conservative than most. He wants to make sure that he sets himself up so that if something catastrophic happens, like a global pandemic, he doesn't have to worry about his finances. Sethi used to recommend that people save 3 to 6 months, but he recently changed his recommendation to 1 year. For most people, having a 1-year emergency fund is overwhelming. First, it's a lot of money, and there's a trade-off where money stays in cash instead of being invested. You should try to keep the money in a high-yield savings account. The key is to plan for the best scenarios so that if something happens, you can buy yourself some time if you have to look for a job. Number 2. Save 10% and invest 20% of gross income at a minimum. Sethi says that saving 10% of gross income can be used for things that come up in the future, such as an emergency fund, a vacation, or a down payment on a house. Investing 20%, especially when you're young, means every dollar will be worth many times more in the future. The real money is generated from investments, not savings. Choosing to prioritize these values based on gross income instead of net income is like living life in hard mode. If you prioritize saving 10% and investing 20%, you're doing great on the income and growth side and can worry less about smaller aspects of your financial decisions. This is the kind of rule where if you just follow it on its own, you're ahead of the game financially. Number 3. Pay cash for large expenses, 20% down minimum on a house. Paying cash for large expenses doesn't mean handing over a stack of $100 bills for large purchases. You can still buy expensive things with a credit card to accrue rewards and take advantage of financial protection. It just means not going into debt to pay for the item. It's having the cash available in savings to pay for things in full. For a house, a 20% down payment is the minimum. If you go to buy a house and you're not ready to put 20% down, you're not ready to buy a house. There are lots of large expenses in life, and we should be able to plan ahead 5 to 10 years and estimate what those will be. If you're planning on buying a $60,000 car in 5 years, you can plan to save $1,000 per month in a sub-savings account. The longer your time horizon, the less you have to save each month to hit your goal. Number 4. Never question spending money on books, appetizers, health, or donating to a friend's charity fundraiser. When Sethi was in college at Stanford, he received a very generous scholarship that covered the cost of any book he wanted completely for 5 years. When he left school, he wanted to continue the freedom of unlimited books. In the grand scheme of things, the cost of books is not that expensive. He made a policy for himself called Ramit's Book Buying Rule. Whenever he finds a book that's interesting, he buys it immediately without hesitation. Number 5. Business class on flights over 4 hours. This one is simple. It's something that Sethi wanted. In his early 20s, he scoffed at anyone who he thought was wasting money on business class travel. He realized over the years that business class is nice, and because he could afford it and comfort was important, he made it a rule. The decision-making process becomes even easier when the constraint of time is included. When a flight is longer than 4 hours, his assistant books a flight in business class. No questions asked. But if a flight is short, he doesn't mind sitting in a coach seat. Part of having these rules is not going from 0 to 60, but finding what is important and valuable to you. Number 6. No limit on spending on health or education. There are some things in life that you just don't look at the price tag for. Sethi says that if he sees a course or event that sounds interesting, he's in, regardless of cost. He emphasizes that everyone should have this rule for something in their life, where prices are irrelevant. If you like a certain type of organic food, X, strawberries, you can find something that's half the price, but you will always buy the one you think is better, even if it's more expensive. All of us have something that is valuable and meaningful to us. For Sethi, this just happens to be health and education. When it came time to look for a personal trainer, he didn't want to watch YouTube videos. He wanted to find someone who would give him faster results, and he didn't want to spend extra time thinking about it. These things are important to him, so he uses his money as a tool to help him live a richer life. Number 7. Buy the best and keep it for as long as possible. Everything cheap comes out expensive. Sethi grew up in a frugal home. There were 6 members in his family. His dad worked, and his mom took care of the family at home. His uncle was a photographer who had a Leica camera. Leicas are some of the best cameras in the world. They are like functional works of art. His uncle gave that camera to his dad in the 1970s, and the camera still works. In fact, it was the camera that Sethi learned to take photos on. He started to see what it's like to have something that's the best and keep it forever. That camera has been in his family for generations, and it will continue to be. Best can also be synonymous with reliable. For the things that you use day to day, like your phone, get the best, but then keep it. Sometimes people buy the best but flip it frequently. If you buy the best and amortize the cost over a long period of time, 10+ years, the cost is often more affordable than buying cheaper and changing every year. With clothing, buying the best means the materials will last, and you will have peace of mind knowing things won't wear and tear easily. Plus, if something does break, tear, or rip, buying the best often means that it will get taken care of free of charge. Number 8. Earn enough to work only with people I respect and like. This is a rule that only tangentially touches money. Sethi says that when he wakes up in the morning and looks at his calendar, he doesn't want to work with someone who makes him look at the invite and say, I have to meet with this person today. He says that he has fired senior people at this company who have not been nice to other coworkers. He made it a priority to work with people whom he respects, loves, and trusts once he earned enough money. Money gives him the ability to use it in such a way that he can work with people he enjoys being around. Number 9. Marry the right person. This is frequently the most confusing money rule for people. What does marrying the right person have to do with money? The decision about who you marry is one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. Is your partner aligned with your values? Do they think about saving and spending in generally the same ways that you do? Have you saved up 30% of your income while you have $75,000 in credit card debt? If so, you have a huge problem. Do they get nervous or scared about spending money? Are they abundant or scarcity-minded? You're going to be thinking about these things every day for the rest of your life. Money is an integral part of a relationship. If you have different money values from your partner, you're going to have problems. Marrying the right person means having the same values for simple things like what kind of bread you buy, spending extra on organic, or complex decisions like sending kids to public or private school. What hotel are you going to stay in? How often are you going on vacation? And are you bringing your families? These are big questions that will haunt you if you don't think about them properly together. Number 10. Prioritize time outside the spreadsheet. At a certain point, your money will work according to the systems you set up. Everything is good. You've won the game. And now it's time to live life outside of the spreadsheet. This means prioritizing family, loved ones, and health, not sitting and looking at Excel every day. A rich life is lived outside of the spreadsheet. There are so many more interesting things in life after you get the 85% solution implemented with savings and investments. Tweaking assumptions is not going to improve your life, but picking up a fun hobby will. As people think about developing their own money rules, they should actually be confusing to others as they dial in on what is special to them. Rules are individually built. Like a custom-tailored suit, they should be set up in a way that is made only for you. That brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our new content. See you soon. Thanks for watching.